Are you dealing with a narcissist who constantly tries to manipulate and control you? Do you feel drained and stuck in this relationship? Don't worry, you're not alone, and there's a secret weapon that can help you break free from toxic narcissists. It's the Grey Rock method. In this video, I will guide you step by step on how to apply the Grey Rock method to protect yourself and neutralize the tricks of a narcissist. You'll learn how to control your emotions, conceal your vulnerabilities, and become invisible in their eyes. But don't celebrate too soon. Many people think they've mastered this technique, only to unknowingly make mistakes that render the Grey Rock method ineffective. So, what are those mistakes? And how can you avoid falling into the narcissist's traps? Stay tuned until the end of the video, where I'll reveal the secrets to applying the Grey Rock method effectively. These insights will help you escape toxic relationships and live a life of freedom. Beneath their flashy exterior, narcissists are mere puppets pulled by the strings of their insatiable need for control and manipulation. They believe that by dominating others, they can mold the world to their liking, like omnipotent creators. In their relationships, they unleash a toxic symphony of gaslighting, leaving their partners drowning in guilt and insecurity. They always play the victim, insist on being right, and shift all blame onto others. Whenever they feel insecure or lose control, they immediately compensate by manipulating those around them. One of their most potent weapons is baiting. Through insulting and provocative remarks, they intentionally ignite your anger, making you lose your temper and react impulsively. Their goal is to stir up negative emotions, gain leverage, and tighten their control over you. Like cunning wolves, they prey on your vulnerabilities, causing you to take the bait and perpetuate their manipulative games to satisfy their inner hunger for power. However, you can completely escape the trap of narcissists with the Grey Rock technique. Become cold and indifferent, like a grey rock, unresponsive and emotionless in the face of their provocations. When you choose to wear the Grey Rock shield, you cease to be the promised land for the narcissist. Imagine if you were once a rushing river, endlessly providing what they craved. Now you've become a still, emotionless lake. You no longer cater to their unreasonable demands, nor do you supply the fix of attention and admiration they so desperately crave. But Grey Rock isn't just silence. It's the art of freezing your emotions, concealing your weaknesses, and refusing to be a puppet in the narcissist's manipulative game. You no longer show anxiety, insecurity, or fear, the emotions they exploit to assert their dominance. Paradoxically, your suffering can inadvertently empower the narcissist. Your pain validates their strength, fueling their arrogance and self-satisfaction. That's why Grey Rock requires you to be stronger than ever, strong enough to control your emotions and protect yourself from the poisoned arrows of the narcissist. Remember, Grey Rock isn't surrender. It's a smart strategy that allows you to reclaim control over your life. So, what specific strategies will make you invincible against narcissists? How can you apply this method most effectively? The answers await you in the next part of this video. Don't hesitate to share your thoughts and experiences with the Grey Rock method in the comments section. Every story, every piece of feedback is a precious puzzle piece that helps build a community of healing and growth, where we share, empathize, and overcome life's challenges together. Method 1. Focus on the issue, don't explain. To understand how to apply this method, let's look at an example. Suppose someone says to you, "I've noticed you've been snapping at the kids a lot lately. You should be more patient and stop taking your frustrations out on them." In this case, they may be deliberately baiting you, trying to make you feel guilty and defensive. So focus on the key ingredient and concentrate on blowing past the kids a lot lately. You should be more patient and stop taking your frustrations out on them. In the past, you might have reacted immediately. "What do you mean by that? I never snap at the kids. It's just that they were being so naughty today and I had to raise my voice a little." And just like that, you'd find yourself in a heated argument about parenting, who cares more about the children, and so on. With the grey rock method, your reaction would be entirely different. Ignore the subjective remark, "You've been snapping at the kids," and focus on the core message. They want you to be more patient with the children. A proper grey rock response would be, "I'll try," short, clear, and leaving no gaps for them to exploit. You don't need to explain, justify, or argue. Just simply allow yourself to feel. Simply acknowledge the information calmly and demonstrate that you are not easily provoked. The biggest mistake you can make is trying to get a narcissist to see how much they've hurt you. This is like banging your head against a wall. Remember, in any discussion, a narcissist's goal is not to resolve the issue or determine who is right or wrong. It's to drain your energy and feed their distorted ego. They'll bring up things from 6 months ago, use nonsensical justifications, or say anything just to feel in control and drive you crazy. When dealing with a narcissist, imagine yourself as a mindless machine, without emotions or personal thoughts, simply functioning in response to their input. The purpose of grey rock is to prevent unnecessary arguments, protect your mental energy, and refuse to participate in the narcissist's manipulative games. Method 2. Practice basic communication. When engaging in conversation, put on a neutral mask and respond with short, dry statements like "yes," "got it," or "thank you." Keep your tone flat and emotionless, which will feel to them like punching air. If they disrespect you, instead of arguing or defending yourself, firmly state, "I'm stepping away from this conversation until you can speak to me respectfully." But then walk away immediately. This not only preserves your self-respect, but is also the safest strategy to avoid emotional harm or even physical aggression they might inflict. Continuing to engage with a narcissist only pulls you into an endless spiral of pointless arguments where you always lose. Stepping away is the only way to protect yourself and maintain healthy boundaries. If walking away isn't possible, stick to simple responses. No matter how outrageous their statements are, reply with something like, "Okay, this way you're winning." When texting, avoid writing long, drawn-out messages. Ideally, keep each message to one sentence. Every word you write can be twisted and weaponized against you. Like predators, they will scour your messages for a word or phrase that fits the narrative they've constructed, then latch onto it to undermine you. You'll feel frustrated and powerless as your thoughts and feelings get buried under their mountain of misinterpretation. They'll ignore the big picture and obsess over one minor detail, inflating it as if it's a grave offense. To counter this, make your messages sharp, concise, and to the point. Strip away unnecessary details, leaving only the core information. Don't give them any chance to distort your meaning. You're under no obligation to dance to their tune. You have the right to find a peaceful space where you're free from their toxic behavior. Method 3. Talk about boring topics and end conversations proactively. If you must engage with a narcissist, always remember they often see you as a toy for their entertainment or a tool to feed their craving for attention and admiration. They'll try to dominate the stage in every conversation to showcase themselves. Don't give them that chance to perform. Stay alert and don't let them steer or control the discussion. When communicating with narcissists, tactfully choose simple, neutral, and dull topics like the weather, daily routines, or a mutual acquaintance. These topics will make them lose interest, as they can't use them to show off. They'll feel frustrated or even disappointed when you drag them into a boring atmosphere they despise. However, proceed with caution. Narcissists rarely give up the spotlight easily. They might try to seize control of the conversation, steering it toward dramatic or sensational topics. When this happens, stay calm and stick to your grey rock strategy. Remain detached and indifferent. Gently redirect the conversation back to a mundane subject, or if necessary, find a way to exit before they escalate. If you can do this successfully, the narcissist will gradually realize you're not an ideal target for exploitation. They'll lose interest and cling to you less frequently. Method 4. Freeze your emotions around them. While you may have mastered the verbal aspects of the grey rock technique, remember that narcissists possess an extraordinarily sensitive radar for detecting emotions. No matter how well you try to hide your feelings, they have an uncanny ability to sniff out your true emotional state. For them, every tiny emotional signal you display is a valuable puzzle piece that feeds their insatiable need for attention and control. This is why controlling your words isn't enough. You must also train yourself to freeze your emotions, maintaining a calm and neutral expression. Think of your face as a mirror reflecting your soul, where every smile, raised eyebrow, or frown can be misinterpreted by a narcissist as a sign you care about them. Even a polite or social smile can be enough for them to grab onto, making them feel validated and encouraging them to dominate you further. Narcissists often express their emotions through exaggerated gestures, but they lack the ability to discern subtle nuances in others' expressions. For them, a genuine smile and a polite one often look the same, as their only concern is whether they've captured your attention. This is why it's crucial to carefully manage your expressions when dealing with them. If you're naturally expressive, take time to practice controlling your facial expressions and body language. Learn to maintain a neutral gaze, keep a light but non-enthusiastic smile, and avoid gestures that could be misconstrued as interest or empathy. Don't let unconscious signals become a loophole for a narcissist to exploit. By learning to freeze both your words and emotions, you'll make it much harder for them to manipulate you and sap their interest in controlling you. Method 5. Avoid getting drawn into their stories. Always keep in mind that narcissists don't play by the same rules as ordinary people. They don't adhere to the social norms we commonly follow in relationships. Trying to treat them politely or apply basic societal values in interactions with them will only leave you confused, exhausted, and vulnerable. Don't fall into the trap of politeness when dealing with someone who tends to manipulate and abuse others psychologically. When they start sharing long, drawn-out stories, don't feel obliged to care, listen, or engage. A few absent-minded nods or indifferent responses are all you need to offer. You are not obligated to provide them with attention, empathy, or kindness because, in reality, they will never reciprocate these gestures. Your genuine goodwill means nothing to them and is easily exploited. Furthermore, remember that most of their stories don't reflect reality. They're often fabrications or exaggerated to the point of absurdity. These tales are not meant to share or connect, but serve a singular purpose: to extract admiration, praise, and attention from you. They don't seek sincere empathy, they simply want to turn you into an audience for their performance. Don't allow yourself to be swept up in these elaborate acts. Maintaining awareness and emotional distance is a crucial weapon to avoid being fooled by their schemes. By refusing to provide the attention they crave, you not only protect yourself, but also diminish their ability to manipulate you. By now, you've likely gained a solid understanding of how to apply the grey rock technique to deal with narcissists. However, not everyone becomes proficient in this skill immediately. So, what are the barriers that can render grey rock ineffective? Stay tuned as we uncover the secrets and explore the pitfalls to avoid when using this strategy effectively. And reasons for failure when applying the grey rock method. 1. Falling into the narcissist's provocation tactics. You succumb to the provocations of a narcissist and cannot overcome them. When you transition from being a rich source of supply to an emotionless grey rock, the narcissist will quickly notice this change. They will bombard you with harsh words, trying to provoke a reaction. One common tactic is feigned disappointment, accompanied by sarcastic remarks like, "Oh, so now you're playing psychological games with me? Do you think you're too superior to talk to me?" They'll attempt to drag you into an argument, forcing you to explain your actions. Similar to scammers being exposed, they want you to admit you're intentionally tricking them. But don't fall into the trap. Stay firm with your grey rock demeanor. Simply respond calmly and lightly, saying something like, "It's nothing," in the most neutral tone possible. Do not feed into their theatrics. Patience is key. The initial phase is always the hardest. The narcissist will go mad when their once abundant source now only provides drips. But hold your ground. They will eventually get bored and retreat. We must completely remove emotions from all interactions with them. Every feeling, joy, sadness, anger, or hurt, must be discarded. Imagine yourself as an unyielding wall. No matter what they say, their words cannot touch you. Of course, this is not easy, especially when they intentionally target your unhealed emotional wounds. However, pretend their words are entirely meaningless, like arrows missing their target and falling to the ground without impact. One crucial piece of advice when facing negative reactions from a narcissist: don't rush to defend yourself. The more defensive you are, the more ammunition you give them to continue their attacks. Narcissists will exploit every explanation you offer to sustain their onslaught. Therefore, when they accuse, insult, or manipulate you, remember that their true goal is to elicit an emotional reaction from you. Next time they attack, instead of getting angry or trying to defend yourself, try agreeing with them. For example, if they accuse you of being disorganized, calmly reply, "Yeah, maybe you're right." That alone is sufficient for a conversation with a narcissist. 2. Emotional detachment conflicts with human instincts to connect. I understand that practicing the grey rock method is a significant challenge at first. This is entirely understandable as it goes against human nature, the instinct to connect, communicate, and build relationships. In daily life, responding to gratitude or displaying politeness during interactions is natural. For example, when a coworker thanks you for your help, your instinctive response might be to smile, reply, or even start a friendly conversation. This is how we maintain harmony and a sense of social connection. However, I want to emphasize that in relationships with narcissists, maintaining emotional distance and detachment is critical. This not only protects you from their manipulation, but also reduces their chances of using your emotions or information to satisfy their craving for attention. When you cut off emotional supply, empathy, praise, or even opposition, you deny them the opportunity to continue manipulating and exploiting you. One sophisticated trap to watch out for is unintentionally sharing your strengths or achievements. In ordinary conversations, this might seem harmless or even positive. Discussing hobbies, skills, or successes is how we build trust and rapport with others. But with a narcissist, this situation is entirely different. They tend to brag about themselves, which might prompt you to share in return, to balance the conversation. This is precisely the trap they want you to fall into. Always remember, any information you share can be twisted by a narcissist and turned into a weapon against you. They excel at distorting words, fabricating truths, or using what you reveal to undermine your credibility, manipulate others, or create conflicts that benefit them. This is how they seize control in relationships, leaving you hurt or stripped of trust from others. When practicing the grey rock method, stay consistent and alert. Don't let natural communication habits become vulnerabilities they can exploit. Remember, emotional detachment is not a sign of coldness or apathy, but a way to protect yourself from those who do not truly respect your value. Over time, you'll find that maintaining distance and disengaging from their emotional games will bring you peace and freedom. Dear friends, it's time to prioritize yourself. Transform yourself into a true grey rock. emotionless, dull, indifferent. Cut off the supply to the narcissist by not providing emotional reactions, justifications, or explanations. Don't let them pull your strings like a puppet. Do not fall into the illusion of winning over or pleasing a narcissist. They do not care about reason or truth. They will do whatever it takes to win, including the dirtiest tactics. So let go of any intention to argue or prove yourself. When dealing with toxic narcissists, such efforts are a waste of time and energy. Instead, focus on protecting yourself. Become invisible in their eyes. Offer them nothing, no emotions, no information, no reactions. If completely disappearing is impossible, minimize interaction as much as possible. Respond curtly with words like yes, no, or remain silent. They will provoke, irritate, and push you, but stay firm. Do not let your ego drag you into futile arguments. I know this is not easy, but practice consistently. The grey rock method is the most effective way to protect yourself and banish the narcissist from your life. Ultimate goal is to break free from toxic narcissists. I understand there are exceptions, such as when the narcissist is your child, but in most cases, cutting ties is the best solution. And to achieve that, the grey rock method is the key.